I'm embarrassed that I'm so embarrassing to some people. Me, it's just like breathing. And them, it's just like drinking water. I don't mean to make you choke like I did on my coffee earlier. I don't mean to break no traditions and strive to stay humble when it comes to everything from my heart and my mind. Coming out this guitar in my mouth, that voice, I don't know where it come from. I'm trying to have my own without being an imitator, but everybody imitates somebody. At some point, inspiration is hard to come by, and we all had examples set to us by some people that, well, let's just say our songs might sound the same sometimes because, yeah, I can't help it if I was raised by ignorance, and I must respect that fact because they know more than me about their past and what they had to go through and what they thought they needed. And who am I to argue with all of that? I wouldn't know. Only with the punches gets to be part of the flow. And everyday adrenaline junkie when you rush to work. The hospital can sometimes be overlooked. Been in the waiting room so damn long that I went and left and came back, and I was still waiting when they finally applied their. There was a bunch of emergency dentist appointment that day just to trip in my past when I was a little kid. Hey, but I wasn't complaining. I just got tired of waiting. Seems like my whole life's been a damn waiting game. So wait again. And how much weight am I carrying this time? Made it all the way back to the trailer park before I got my happy ass back in the Ford Ranger that my parents were driving and turned off right back to the dentist all on my own. Said, "What are you doing here?" Cop stopped me, mistook me for a Turk or something like that, but the Turk might have been Mexican. I guess I had that look happen to me all the time. They say, "What are you doing then?" Call me by a different name. Have to get some backup from some of my family members who assured the police that I really was me and not the person that they were wanting to question. And yes, of course, I understand it must have been my almond shaped eyes. I guess that's the product of fetal alcohol syndrome, but you can just call me Irish. For a different name, families always lived on islands, at least on my dad's side, as far back as I can remember. And for that, who the heck knows where my mama comes from? I guess it was from Montana. But then her dad moved to Arizona when he got older to be in a nursing home. Lost both of his big toes, but not at the same time. So it's hard for an old person to walk around when they get to be in their 80s. So he was in a wheelchair when I finally saw him again. Brought up this memory of how I called his old lady fat back in the day. And he was really upset because he said he really loved her like it was supposed to mean something to me, but I was just a kid. The only love I ever felt was for my family, and it was all overwhelming and encompassing to the point where you probably wouldn't understand that I wasn't insulting her. It's just all of my family members were so skinny, including me back then. I wasn't really used to seeing fat people, and it was kind of amazing. And she was kind of beautiful, and she was really gorgeous. She always pinched my cheeks like some women do, sometimes a little kids, but I didn't mind it. I would always kind of go back for more afterwards, like, is she gonna do it again? And get a little tingle down in my balls that I didn't know what it meant. Yeah, yeah, he said he loved her. It was supposed to mean something to me. I've never been in love before, just had love for my family and friends. But then one day, years later, I fell in love with a woman. For that, I always just crushed a lot. And it really crushed me when it didn't work out. But we had some good years together. Died when he was 88 years old. Back in Arizona, my grandpa had a heart. He was a big-hearted man. He used to be tall, but hard to tell in a wheelchair, all wise and old like that. Used to be real tough too. Gotta be tough to lose both the big toes. One in a construction accident, the other splitting wood. At least that's what my mom said, but you never know with my mom, 'cause she's a pathological lie. But she never liked to lie about her dad. Never liked to lie about her dad. Never liked to lie about her daddy. Yeah, and the older she gets, well, I never stopped loving my mom, caring about her very much. But she got so obsessed with playing games that that's all she really likes to do, is keep her at a distance, because we get along better at a distance. And I don't have to hear all the hurtful things she has to say about me to where I have to pretend to be somebody I'm not. Otherwise, she might get offended and attack me, thinking that I'm not being myself. Same old bullshit I had to deal with as a kid. Back when I used to have to pretend to be gay. It's the opposite of what most people would have to deal with back in the day. It's really why I'm not bigoted. It's kind of fucking ridiculous, but anyway, I don't put up with that bullshit anymore. And when you call me biased, well, I really have to laugh at it, because I just fall in love with who I fall in love with, and I can't help who I love or who I like. Doesn't matter what color you are. It always matters what color you are. But that don't have no bearing on anything to do with the feelings I have for you. It's just some psychological thing that we all have to put aside and recognize that really you could love anybody. Love is colorblind. Love is colorblind. Yeah, love is colorblind. Love is colorblind. Yeah, love is colorblind. Love is colorblind. Love is colorblind.